So now I'm in InDesign. I've set up my page with a little bit wider margin, and I suggest to you that you should not use the default margin because the client usually has a deep respect for lots of air, meaning white space on the page. So I've set mine to 3/4 of an inch, and they're equal all the way around, although you can make them unequal, as you probably know. I'm also using 7 columns, and I'm going to paste the story into the first 6 of these columns, leaving an extra space on the inside of the document to give it a little bit neater look. So I'm going to hit Command V, that's pasting in the story that I had in Word, and notice that you can still see the double space between the paragraphs. Now I haven't formatted this, so I'm going to go ahead and click Select All, and then double click over here and change the character formats to 10/14, which is the style that I'm using throughout the document. And that should work. But now I need to take out those double paragraph returns because I've decided that throughout my publication, all of the stories will have indented paragraphs instead of extra space. Remember that you need to be consistent about that. All of your stories should be set up the same way. The poems are different, as we talked about in class. So I'm going to hit Command F, and I've already done this once, so you can see I've got this loaded up here with Shift 6 lowercase p, Shift 6 lowercase p. There's 2 of them, and that's telling InDesign to find everywhere there is a double paragraph return and change it to a single. So I'm going to click Change All, and it did it, which is great. It's looking pretty good. I need to go back in. I'm going to click Done there. Double click in the first paragraph, and I have a style already set up for body first because the first paragraph should not be indented. I'm going to go ahead and add another return, another return after the author to separate it from the story. The title and the author will be styled separately according to how the rest of the document is set up. So now I have the story set up the way I like it, and if I come over here and click W, you can see it looks pretty nice on the page. So I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of work. I've got an extra line here, and what I can do is actually go in and see if I can make some changes in the document. For one thing, you want to try to control widows. There's one right here. Let me zoom in on that and you can see it. One way to control widows is to actually take out a slight bit of spacing between each letter. And I'm going to select just that sentence and come over here to Character Styles. I created a style called Shorten, which actually has a little bit less tracking. So the tracking is -25. And I've created a character style so that everywhere I need to do that, I can. And that one actually did help get rid of the widow. It also, though, made a little bit of a problem at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and then hit Shift Return and get that up to the top of the page. So that looks a little bit better. That looks perfect now. So again, the title and author will be formatted separately. So that's how you do that. Also, by the way, the space between my columns is 1.5 picas. And I suggest that you watch out for that. A lot of people tend to forget that they need to have enough space between the columns so that the reader does not read one line and go all the way across to connect to the next column. So you need a good lead number of white space. There's another widow here I need to control.